Hello, I'm Tony Francola from Excel Ratio, and in today's demonstration I'm going to show you how you can use best practices feature from our SPDocKit tool to analyze your SharePoint forms and to improve performance and fix potential issues. The key feature of SPDocKit is the ability to create snapshots. The snapshot contains all the settings from your SharePoint configuration, all the settings from central administration, everything about your sites, inventory, features installed, applications installed on your servers, information about your hardware, software, and everything that makes a SharePoint form. In order to view a snapshot, you can use the View Snapshot button on the SPDocKit home screen. You can also create a new snapshot, which you are going to see later in this demonstration. I'm going to click View Snapshots now. As you can see, I have a lot of snapshots already in my database. For the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to open this one. I can use Farm Explorer to preview settings in my snapshot to explore all the settings that can be configured for your farm. But for this case, I'm just going to jump into best practices. What you can see on your screen is a best practice dashboard, and this best practice dashboard shows me all the settings in the SharePoint that have been misconfigured or that have been configured properly in your SharePoint. So in this case, I'm going to show you a couple of best practices that are easy to demonstrate and best practices that are in some cases easy to fix and easy to improve. Let's jump into SQL alias. This is one common mistake that many administrators make when initially configuring SharePoint. They don't use SQL alias. This is a problem because when you want to migrate your SQL servers to another instance or another SQL Server box, if you are not using alias, you might run into problems with moving your databases from one server to another. As you can see in this best practice, we are detecting that situation and we are informing administrator that he or she should fix this particular setting to improve maintenance or make maintenance of SharePoint easier than it is without SQL alias. The other thing that has been detected for this farm is that it doesn't follow the memory best practices, and it doesn't have sufficient working memory on the web front-end servers. This is something that should be changed in order to improve performance of this particular farm. This particular best practice detects if your SharePoint is up to date or you're using a version that has been updated by Microsoft and there is a service pack or cumulative update that replaces this particular version. So we recommend our clients to update to that recommended version. For today's demo, I'm going to show you one simple best practice that can be easily fixed. So if you take a look at our dashboard screen, you are going to see a diagnostic logpad best practice. This particular best practice is used to detect if you are storing your log files to your primary drive on your SharePoint server. And this can be a problem if there is like a lot of logs being produced in a short period of time, and this can lead to your primary drive, your C drive, being filled in with a lot of data that can potentially cause your Windows server to stop working altogether. This is an easy fix. You just need to go to your central administration, jump to monitoring, configure diagnostic logging, scroll down, and in the path text box, you just need to fill in the value of some other drive that you have in your system. In my case, that's a G drive, and I'm going to transfer all my logs to G drive. So I'm just going to click OK. This is going to change the settings in the SharePoint. I'm going to jump into my SPDocKit and I'm going to take a snapshot. So snapshot is going to gather information from my SharePoint and store new setting for diagnostic logpad for me. And now when the new snapshot has been created, I can go to my best practices and I'll see that my diagnostic log best practice now shows no errors and that our SPDocKit has detected that you are storing your logs on G Drive, which is a good setting. We know that for many systems you cannot use the same values, so that's why we are providing you with the Customize Best Practices option. This dialog helps me configure default values for some of the options that can be configured, and it also allows you to uncheck some best practices that you don't want to check in case if you don't need a particular setting or you don't agree with a particular best practice. You can uncheck that option and it's not going to be checked in your system. But for some options that are numeric values that can be configured, for example, the amount of memory, you can easily change that, and we are also allowing you to configure different values for different versions of SharePoint because there are different requirements from 2010 to 2016. You can store these values and export them and use them for different farms in your environment, so you can have a common best practice values for all the farms in your organization. On top of customizing best practices, you can also create a new best practice using a built-in wizard. The built-in wizard can work on any data that has been stored as part of our snapshot, and this best practice is going to be checked after every snapshot has been created. The built-in wizard is easy to use, and you can easily customize the values that are displayed in the wizard. All the best practices can be easily exported to PDF, Excel, or a Word format, and then you can distribute these best practices to your colleagues. You can also create an email subscription and store these best practices or send the best practice via email, or store them to SharePoint or file shares so that they can review them on a scheduled basis. Join our SPDocKit webinars to learn more. Contact us for a personalized demo or try SPDocKit free for 30 days at www.spdockit.com. Thank you. Have a nice day.